Hi, my name is Joanna and I am the Missions and Marketing Director for the Lantern of Saybrook. Welcome back to JoAnna's Community Corner. We are coming to you from our lounge, which is called the Parrot Lounge here at the Lantern of Saybrook. It's where people come, they have a couple of drinks on a Friday night, 2-drink max, and just get to socialize and be with each other. I like to show different parts of the lantern so that everyone gets a chance to really get to view the lantern. Since we are in this COVID where you can't really come into the building per se, but I can certainly come around the building and show you various aspects of the building that we think are pretty fun and pretty great to have. We had some great feedback from last week's show. We love those comments and shares. You know, we're always wanting to hear about what you want to hear about. So, you know, keep those comments coming. We want to again thank Vector Security for their line of products to help keep our seniors and our community safe. They really are a big part of Ashtabula County, and they're really a really great company. But first, we want to talk about our Lantern news, and then we're going to get on to our topic of the day. Of course, we had Father's Day. It was wonderful. They had steak dinner that was cooked by our dietary. They did an excellent job out there barbecuing on that grill. They had candy and cards, and they had a lot of fun games that was happening. So, I mean, it really made it a wonderful weekend. And of course, anything for our fathers, we were more than proud to do it for them. So we're glad that they had a wonderful weekend. And we also want to talk about our Natalie, her group is so fun. They had this huge dance party happening. They had the music going, the residents were dancing. And but did you know that the dancing boosts like physical, mental health, it helps improve their posture, improves their flexibility. Dancing also helps lift all that tension and anxiety. So music is a huge part here at the Lantern. There's always music playing in the hallways. We try to keep music at the forefront, at the top of the list, because who doesn't love music? Everybody loves to sing, everybody loves to dance. And it's one of the things that I love so much about the Lantern is you know, there's always something happening here. It's always it's a lot of fun for our seniors. Even though they've been a little more confined than usual, you know, we never leave out the fun. And that's the most important thing here, is that our residents are happy and loved, and they're having fun. So, you know, we always want to let our families know that they're in good hands. They're really in good hands here. We also want to talk about Natalie and her crew had a popcorn party. And oh my gosh, did it smell good in here. So that was like an afternoon of smiles. They brought popcorn around everybody and drinks and snacks, and, you know, and everyone enjoyed in their room, you know, the movie of their choice. And so they had a lot of fun with that. For these stories and a whole lot more, please check out our Lantern of Saybrook Facebook page. A lot of stories, a lot of videos. If you've never looked at the Lantern before, I mean, really just check out our Facebook page. That pretty much tells you who we are. Today, we're going to be talking about scams. Scams that not only affect our seniors, of course, but these are scams that can happen to anybody. So we're talking about financial scams targeting seniors. You know, they've become such commonplace now that they're actually considered the crime of the 21st century. Financial scams often go unreported. They can be difficult to prosecute. So for criminals, they're considered low risk, but for our seniors, they're devastating. You know, they work hard for their money, and for someone to steal it away from them in a moment, and sometimes it's just a moment, is really heart-wrenching. So hopefully some of the information I'm going to provide you with today is going to help you or a senior not fall victim to one of these scams. You know, and it's not just the wealthy seniors that are being targeted. It's our low-income adults that are also at risk of financial abuse, and you would think it's mostly strangers. But again, that's not true. Studies show that 90%, that's 90%, are committed by people they trusted, family members, friends, acquaintances, neighbors. So that's something to keep in mind. And I'm just going to talk about a few of the many scams targeting seniors. And the first one we're going to talk about is the Medicare and health scam. Every U.S. citizen, permanent resident over the age of 65 qualifies for Medicare. So a scammer doesn't have to do too much research to figure out what insurance a senior has. And most of the scams are perpetrators posing as Medicare representatives, calling to verify information, update your account, things like that. And what they're really trying to do is scam your Medicare numbers so they can file phony claims in with Medicare and cost our government and our taxpayers millions of dollars each year in phony claims. So hold tight onto those Medicare numbers, because they also get sold off, and then they get sold off, and then they get sold off again. So once it's out, and it's like a perpetual thing of selling, reselling your information to whoever will buy it. Another big one is counterfeit prescriptions. Now, we all want to save a buck on prescriptions because, listen, I know prescriptions are extraordinarily expensive. These scams are mostly done on the internet, sometimes done on the phone. Seniors looking to save on costly prescriptions. This scam is growing in popularity as the price of prescription drugs grow. And the danger of not only losing your money, but victims may purchase unsafe substances that can cost you your life. This scam can be as hard on the body as it is on your wallet. So be careful. You know, you can always call the company itself, and a lot of times they have programs available to get you either that medication for free or at a discount. Always talk to your doctor if you have a prescription that is just out of reach and it's just too expensive for you to purchase. You know, there's usually another drug available, but you gotta let your doctor know. You know, don't go out trying to find that cheaper version of that medication, because like I said, it can cost you your life. So the next one we're going to talk about is funeral and cemetery scams. Do not purchase cemetery plots by phone, by mail, by internet. Do not pre-purchase funeral arrangements by phone, mail, or internet. Go directly to the funeral home of your choice. What happens, the scammers do is that a couple of different things. They will either call and try to sell you a cemetery plot or a pre-planned funeral using a funeral home in town that you know. But of course, it's just the scammer taking the identity of that funeral home and taking your dollars with them. There is also the scam of them searching the obituaries and then calling you at home while you're grieving and saying that there's an unexpected cost of this or that, and you know, if you could just give me your checking information or your credit card information, we'll just take care of it over the phone. Do not do that. That is another way for a scammer to take advantage of a grieving family. Another way that they take advantage of grieving families is they will either go to the calling hours and say that your deceased loved one owed them money. This scam also happens with phony bills, harassing phone calls, and emails. And they will harass these poor grieving families so much that they end up just paying it because they don't want their loved one to have owed anybody anything. Please, please, please take the time to really think about who you're sending this money to. And again, once they have your information, they can continue to scam you. They can continue to sell your information. and they can continue to put fraudulent charges on either your checking account, savings account, credit card account. So just something to look out for. You know, it's bad when people take advantage of people when they're in those grieving situations, but for a scammer, it's easy pickings. So something to keep in mind. Fraudulent anti-aging products. Now listen, I've been there myself. We're all trying to look younger. We're all trying to look our best. But in society where you're bombarded with images of young and beautiful, it's no surprise that older people feel the need to conceal their age in order to participate more fully in social circles, in the workplace. You know, after all, 60 is the new 40, that's what they tell me. And the list is long and wide on this one, so please proceed with caution. Again, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It probably is. Even though you'd like it to be true, it's probably not. Just a fact, sorry. Telemarketing phone scams. There's no face-to-face interaction, there's no paper trail, and these scams are really hard to trace. Also, once a successful deal has been done, don't expect it to be a one-time deal. These scammers will actually sell off your name, your phone number, your information. That way you can be scammed again and again. Making friends with a senior is another tactic that they use. Starts off very small, you know, small donation. Pretty soon they're calling this poor vulnerable senior who's lonely at home every day, and it almost becomes like a friend to them, and they start trusting them, and then before they know it, their life savings is gone. So keep an eye out for any family members or your seniors that all of a sudden have a new friend that's calling them at home. It very well could be a scam, and it's quite common. Be careful of solicited money for charities. These often occur after a natural disaster, pulling on your heartstrings. Make sure you know who you're giving to. Again, once they have your name, address, phone number, your senior will be bombarded with requests for money for charities. Internet fraud. You know, seniors, and even myself, listen, I'm not kidding you, are not real savvy when it comes to the internet. So they're particularly vulnerable to these scams of phony web and email programs, pop-up browser windows, and scanning software that'll fool a victim into either downloading an anti-software program that's phony, of course, at a big cost, or they'll click on a phony web page and a virus is then instilled into the computer, stealing any kind of information that they have in the computer, including passwords, banking information, that type of thing. So they're really good at what they do. They're really good at what they do. So again, be very, very careful on what you click onto on the internet. Be careful of any company that asks you to update and verify your personal information over the internet. Your best bet is to just actually call that company and see if somebody had actually sent this particular email. More times than not, they do not ask for updates on personal information doing it that way. They just don't. So take the minute before you click on that, before you answer those questions, call the company, insurance company, your bank, what have you. The IRS is never going to ask for your personal information by an email. That's another scam, so be very careful again of what you click on. There's investment schemes. And you know, there's no quick way to make an honest buck. And there's a saying that goes behind that, and it's true. So if the investment scheme seems too good to be true, the money seems too easy, the return seems far too big, it's probably it's an investment scheme. So try to stay away from those. Stay with your reputable companies that we have here, like say in Ashtabula County. You know, we have a lot of great investment people here in Ashtabula County, honest, good people who will invest your money and protect your assets. Homeowners and reverse mortgage scams. Scammers like to take advantage of the fact that many older adults above a certain age own their home. So there's a lot of valuable asset in that home and they want it. So one of the scams that they use is a property tax scam. They send personalized letters that say they're from county assessor's office and they're giving you a chance to have your property assessed. Usually it's at a very high cost to you. And of course, once the check is cashed, they take the money and they are gone and you are still with your same property taxes. It just doesn't work that way. Never pay, you know, to have your taxes assessed. It's just a scam. Another one that is used quite a bit by home repair companies is the scam that can literally wipe out a senior. Do not trust anyone that comes to your house and claims that you have a problem with your house, that they noticed while they were driving by, or they were doing some work in the area, and they noticed something wrong with your home, you know, and they want you to pay for it with a reverse mortgage. They could very easily take all of the equity that you have in your home that you work so hard to pay off and steal it before you even know what happened to you, and they're gone. And no work was done on your house, but all the assets that you had in your house are now gone. A huge one is sweepstakes and lottery scams. Shut the door, throw it away, hang up. If anyone who has told you that you've won a big prize, do not ever pay anyone by a gift card. Western Union, do not ever believe anyone who says that you have to pay the taxes on your winnings. That is not true. This scam continues to plague people who have dreams of striking it rich, and it makes them a really easy target because, you know, most seniors want to leave their family members, you know, all this money. They want to make their lives better than they had for themselves, but more times than not, it's a scam. And people just keep falling for it because, you know, the dreams of being rich are strong. So just be really, really careful of that. Do not give money or information out for people claiming to be selling COVID tests. That's a huge one right now. Or claims that they can cure COVID or keep you from getting COVID. Those are all false claims. It's just not true. People calling saying you have warrants out for you or one of your family members, and they can take care of it by you either purchasing gift cards, sending money Western Union, giving over your checking account information. Those things, if you do have a warrant out for you, they cannot be fixed over the phone by giving money. It's just not true. Be careful of Facebook giveaways, free coupons, gift cards that seem too good to be true. I've seen this on Facebook a lot. You know, there's a Home Depot $100 coupon. Home Depot's not giving you a $100 coupon. It's made up by the scammers to get your information from you. Walmart is not giving you $2,000. Again, it's a scam that they use to get your information. If it seems too good to be true, I cannot say it enough, it probably is. No company is going to just give you $5,000 by liking and sharing their post. Now there is some reputable ones out there. You know, we have our Madison Donut ones, and we have the ones from Giant Eagle, and those types of things are true. But again, they're not offering you huge things. They're usually, you know, a dozen of donuts or a free cake for your birthday, things like that. Just be mindful of those scams, because no one, again, is going to give you that much money just by liking and sharing. Just something to think about. The last scam I want to talk about, gosh, it's a really tough one. And I've actually seen this happen, and it was devastating to the family. And it's called the grandparent scam. And it's so devious and deceitful because it relies on a grandparent's love. You know, a grandparent's love is like no other. And a lot of times they'll do whatever they can for their family. And so this particular scam, it really bothers me, but it happens, and it happens a lot. Usually it starts off with a phone call to the grandparent, and it starts off with something like, "Hey grandma, do you know who this is?" And as soon as the grandparent says that name, the scammer has now become that person. And now the scam will start with anything from, "I'm in trouble, I need you to wire me money, I'm in jail, I need money, I have a bill, I'm gonna lose my car." Anything that's going to tug at that grandparent in order for them to wire money, give bank information, give your social security cards. That grandchild scammer is usually going to be crying, is usually going to be sounding upset, which tugs at a grandparent even more. And then they become panicked. And what happens when you become panicked? You don't think straight. So stop. If you get one of those phone calls, stop. Think for a second, make a quick phone call, make a text, and it can save you thousands. Scammers have even gone as far as to threaten the family members, saying, "If you do not give me X amount of dollars, I'm going to harm your family." It's real easy to get family members' names off of public sites, and it makes it seem like it's actually very real, and the grandparents go into protection mode, and they're thinking that they're protecting their family, and they will do anything to protect their family. And in that moment of panic, they will give away thousands, thinking that they're protecting their family from this assailant saying that they're going to harm their families. Stop. Think a minute. Call a relative, because they can't harm you. It's a tactic that they use to cause panic and fear for you to turn over your hard-earned money. It's pretty deceitful. I've heard of it happening, and it continues to happen because of the love that grandparents have for their children and grandchildren. The takeaway is, don't be afraid or embarrassed to come forward. These are professional scammers. This is what they do. They're really good at what they do. But come forward and tell someone that this has happened to you. Get help from another family member or a relative, and you can stop it. You can cancel the bank accounts, you can cancel the credit cards, and you can stop that scammer from continuing to take advantage of you. So I hope this information was helpful. As always, keep in touch with your family. Keep those lines of communication open. Know what your elder family member is doing. You know, are they getting lots of mail from all of these sweepstakes places or charities? You know, it's times like that you need to intervene, and you need to sit down and you need to have a conversation. So I hope everybody shares some of this information with their seniors, and you know, let's protect our seniors from this happening to them. I don't want this to happen to any other senior. With that being said, we're going to go on to happier news. Next week, we're going to start celebrating 4th of July. 4th of July is huge here. We have our veterans, we have our retired police officers and EMTs and everyone here. We just love America. So we have some wonderful things planned for our seniors next week for 4th of July, and we can't wait to share those with you. But until next week, my name is JoAnna, and you have a great afternoon and great memories.